Good morning and welcome to the new edition of Live Comments. A couple of days back, a horrific incident took place in Las Vegas. 22,000 people had assembled together in a concert. And all of a sudden, a man in a very cool, calculating manner started firing at them, automatic fire, high up from the 32nd story of the hotel, half a kilometer across the crowd, but the 41 long guns, automatic guns, and he kept on firing incessantly till 59 people were killed and more than 500 people injured who were in the hospital. The people who went home, the number cannot be imagined. 4 Canadians died, 6 are still hurt. And this shooting spree revived the day cry for gun control in USA. Leaving aside the politics of the gun control and the constitutional rights of the Americans to bear arms, Amendment 2 of the Constitution, every citizen has a right to bear arms. The question of the gun control is also there in Canada. I agree that guns have been used badly, but today I'm not talking about gun control per se. I'm talking about another broken promise to the government. In 2015 elections, if you remember, the Liberal Party, at that time the opposition party, had promised that they will bring gun control and that would be their first priority. The founders of the Coalition for Gun Control, which was established when the Polytechnic Engineering College in Montreal was the locale when 14 girls were killed. And now they are asking Justin Trudeau, what happened to your promise? On Monday, they met the Prime Minister. They have presented memorandums that he should fulfill this promise of his. 2 years have passed since he came into power, and there is no response. Even the Las Vegas massacre, which is in fact a reminder to the Liberal government of what is at stake. When one individual with malicious intent has access to the guns, especially if they happen to be semi-automatic or automatic. We have also known that even semi-automatic guns can be converted into automatic guns with the help of one device, which is easily available all over the world, even online. So, it turns out that automatic guns, which are barred, which are banned everywhere, are as easy as ordinary guns are. And till now, let's forget 500 plus injured, 59 killed. Let's talk of Canada. Do you know in this year, in 2017, 11,685 people have been killed with guns. I'm not talking of the stabbing. I'm not talking of the people run down. I'm talking of the homicide via guns. And the election of the gun control under the former Harper government was one issue with which Justin Trudeau and his team disagreed, and they wanted effective gun control so that malicious people, so that inhuman people, those are cold, cruel, callous people, cannot make use of a gun. But our laws are like that. The major promise of gun control had certain elements. First, and all of them were put in back burner, and they had said that the first instance, as soon as they take power, they'll beef up control on the transportation of restricted weapons, and they had assured $100 million to provinces and territories for police to take over illegal war, reduce gang violence, enhance background checks for the people who want restricted firearms, and require firearm vendors to keep records for the police use. Unfortunately, not only have they faulted on their promise, this government has once again failed to implement UN gun marking regulations. Possibly this is the only country in a civilized world which is not implementing UN gun marking regulation. And they were the people who were criticizing Stephen Harper and the conservative government during the election time for delaying the same program. If Harper was guilty of delaying the program, what has happened in 2 years that Trudeau has not been able to implement that program? And look at the steady rise in purchase and the restriction of restricted and prohibitive handguns in Canada. Can you believe it? They say it's a prohibited weapon and people are buying it and getting it registered in their name. Actually, this restricted and prohibited rifles, the registration started way back in September 11, 2001 terrorist attack in New York. And at that time, the sale of the firearms skyrocketed in USA and also in Canada. In Canada, the federal registry, and I'm not talking about the provincial registry, the federal registry of prohibited firearms shows that individuals own 21,282 restricted and prohibited handguns from October to December 2001. It is more than double for the first 9 months of the same year. First 9 months it was 9,564, and in then 3 months it was 21,282. So look at the craze for the guns as if there is a malicious madman and you have a gun at home. So he starts firing in an arena or in a concert and you can return the fire and kill him. They forgot that the security does not permit you to take guns to the shows. And then, after that, the individuals in Canada registered more, 92,891 restricted handguns and 55,736 prohibited handguns have been registered. Imagine 92,891, that's almost 100,000, and 55,736 are prohibited ones. So over 150,000 prohibited and restricted guns were registered in 2002. And then, this test did not stop. This went climbing. In 2015, and this is the record of the federal liberal government which wanted to control guns. Individuals registered, new individuals, 93,659 restricted and prohibited firearms in Canada. So the total number of guns, in fact, if I count from 2001 onwards, is more than 1 million. And let's take last year, when the government was fully in power in 2016. There has been a further spike in the handguns. You see, in 90s, if you were here, you would remember that Chechen government had started registry of the long guns and the basic rifles. And there was a lot of hue and cry. The gun culture in Canada was changing. And then, there was a black rifle shooting matter. And then people saw that the not restricted rifles, they look like police tactical guns and they're not hunting tools. So the question is, what is Ralph Goodale doing? The Minister for Security Minister. And what is Mr. Justin Trudeau doing? Will the Las Vegas shooting be enough to prod, push, and persuade the government to go into action and control guns? I can assure you it will not. Because the priorities of the government have changed from pre-election promises to post-election reaping of the benefits of election. The concept of the public safety, the concept of taking care of the people, that has given way to the loaves of offices. The ministers are busy moving around in luxury cars. You remember there was a case of a minister who spent 99,000 something in one day in moving around in cars in GTA. Well, she went up to Hamilton. There have been cases when the House movement of the innovation minister, Mr. Baines, his chief of staff got $55,000 for moving from Brampton to Ottawa. Stephen Dion's chief of staff charged $100,000 for moving. So everybody is busy minting money. Who cares for the lives of the people? Who cares for your life? They'll come up with absolutely zany, stupid ideas, like what I talked yesterday, saying Salaam Alaikum and studying the biographies of MPPs. They will waste time on passing resolutions like M103, defining Islamophobia, or in condemning Government of India for 1984, which had no relevance at all to the nation. But they will not, and I repeat, will not take effective steps to fulfill their own promises, to control guns, to make them not available to the diseased minds, and to protect innocent citizens. They'll talk all big, but the talk would never be translated into reality. It has not been. My blood boils when I see that the politicians make promises. And then the first thing they do is find out the ways of not fulfilling those promises, even when they are good. Friends, this is a sorry state of affairs in any country. In any country, whatever the political party may be, that the electorate is blind to the fact that the promises made are not meant to be kept. And the politicians take benefit of the credibility of the, shall I say, innocence, or shall I say stupidity of the people who do not see through the game, that their main thing is to get offices and not serve the people, which they have sworn to do, not defend the people, until and unless something horrendous happens. Edmonton terror attack. The guy, the Somali refugee, was deported from USA for being a terror threat, and he was welcomed. And after that, the government opened arms to welcome refugees at your cost. You are paying for that. And if some of them, even if one of them is a terrorist, just imagine what would happen. Ask these 4 Canadians killed in Las Vegas. Are those 5 people who were grievously injured in Edmonton attack, including the police officer? What prohibits the government from implementing this promise to control guns? Why are they not fulfilling their promise? Is it because the gun manufacturer and the gun dealer lobby is rich enough to buy them? Is it the reason that the political contributions by the manufacturers and the dealers are such a God-sent gift that they don't want to be a party to stop receiving those gifts? Think for yourself, lest it be too late. Thank you.